Welcome to the show today. Today, I got to talk to you guys about some of these drills I've been seeing. I got asked to review, let's see, what is the name? We've got OverTimeAthletes is the YouTube channel, and he's been putting out a ton of good drills. I've looked at some of his stuff, really amazing things he's got going. But you wanted to see a hurdle drill, basically. You wanted to know a little bit about it and wanted to know if it was something that you should be doing. Now, anytime that you're doing any hurdle drills, it's important that you keep good balance. A lot of guys, when you're starting out at a really young age, aren't quite capable of maintaining like really great posture. A lot of times kids will kind of let their chest hang way over their feet and they're jumping kind of funny and they don't really develop as much power vertically. So when you see these athletes in his workout, you can notice that they've all got great posture, and he's probably coaching that a ton, just trying to make sure that you get your feet in the right positions as well as that chest position. But overall, it's a bounding jump, right? Rather than a single leg, you're really trying to throw both legs up and over, and you can do different variations of this where you're landing on one leg or two legs. Younger athletes need to be a little bit careful here. Anytime you're working with these taller hurdles, he's got in the video some great advanced level athletes, but if you are new to the game and you're trying to work on this, just simple tuck jumps or jumping over small objects is going to be a good start for you. You can get on a cone, possibly even a bench if you're in a gym atmosphere, but hurdles oftentimes are very challenging and are going to be used for these upper level athletes like you see in the video. But anytime that you can increase the amount of height that you're doing, that's going to help you out a lot. But a true tuck jump where you're driving your knees all the way up is really in essence what you're going for. Now, if you add Kbands to a drill specifically like this, the key is that you don't land with your knees put together. I see this a lot of times in guys training with Kbands, where whenever you're doing any type of bounding or jump plyometric based training, you land and you let your knees slide together, especially in younger athletes. And what you want to make sure that you're doing is you land in a good neutral position, both feet on the ground, and you have to maintain that posture working through the resistance. And what it can do is it can add some stability elements to it. When you land with resistance, those knees are going to have to work against the resistance. It's similar to putting a resistance band around your quads when you're doing back squats. If you have any weakness, or a lot of females have this problem when they squat, their knees will shift in while they're on their way up, or kind of right as they're changing direction. The overload allows them or kind of forces them almost to slide those knees in. When you add resistance in this world, you basically are getting muscle activation. You're telling the glutes to fire the full range through, up and down. You'll notice this in this video clip right here. Every time that you land, it's that nice stable position that's outside of your shoulders. Give yourself a little bit of distance between the feet and maintain that stability when you land to explode back up. Same type of arms. You want to be really explosive. Throw your hands, drive your knees to your chest, but you can do these types of exercises with Kbands as well as just doing it on a hurdle style drill. Now, if you're doing a single leg movement, those legs are going to be coming back together as you land on your feet, but overall you're driving through resistance, stabilizing when you land, drive over the hurdle or whatever object you're using, land, stabilize, and then utilize that power from side to side. That's where a lot of these benefits are going to be coming in. Drills like these can be a big part of youth athletic training. I feel like anytime that you're spending some time with these younger athletes, there's a lot of drills out there that you're going to come across online that seem really advanced. But if you're working with someone that's 8, 10, 12 years old, they are old enough to be doing these types of exercises. The key is that you're just looking at those big fundamental points of interest. You want to watch knees, you want to watch hips and upper body. Make sure that everything's working well and balanced, but pay close attention to these restorations and the form. Both of them have to be working in tandem, because as you do more repetitions with younger kids, as soon as they fatigue, everything gets a little bit wild. They get out of sync. Arms start flying where you don't want them. You really want to train that constant good speed and agility, motion and form very early. Keep the sets short, keep the rest periods a little bit longer so that you can maintain that proper form. Coach them up in between. Talk about hand position. Make sure they're not getting too wild. Talk about the knee position, how you're trying to activate the hip flexors. I see this a lot of times in youth athletics. Lazy knees is nearly one of the biggest problems for slower athletes, is they just don't work on their knee drive. And when you're using Kbands, it's kind of almost an amplifier. If you're not driving through the resistance, sometimes you can't even feel the resistance because some kids work in a very linear or upright form throughout the entire workout. So in these parts of it, when you strap Kbands on them, you're trying to really get these guys to activate, get the knees up, and try to build some strength and resistance through whatever level that you've chose. I would say, however, a lot of younger athletes are doing drills that are a little bit too advanced. And what I mean by that is if you can't really complete a tuck jump, if I'm analyzing my young athlete, trying to decide whether or not they should be doing a drill, I want to look at some of the movements and take the objects out of it first, right? If I take the objects out and know that they can do a tuck jump, well, then we can get a little bit more motion in it, and maybe we can get that type of a drill going. But don't just get into these advanced level exercises without having a good idea whether or not they're going to get any benefit from it. Just because we're doing exercises doesn't mean you're truly going to get that speed benefit. Work on those younger kids trying to build a good stability, functional balance, real healthy movements, and then you want to try to be as explosive as you can constantly. The lazier that you're working, if you're only doing sport-specific training, right? Say you are a basketball player and you spend tons and tons of time shooting baskets. That's great, but that's not really going to get us our most optimal speed and performance. I find that most of these young athletes, when they hit their growth spurt, they really struggle to maintain their speed. So utilizing some of these more advanced style drills can be a great way to build those building blocks back in their body so that they can excel in that way.